Hey, so today we're gonna do some shop electrical. I've been putting this off for a while. I have this shop here, and the electrical's pretty messed up. They used the wrong gauge wire when they installed the outlets. I had some overheating issues with running power tools, and then I'm gonna rechange this, redo this whole panel right here. This panel is pretty old. It's small. I got a bigger panel, same capacity. It's just better looking. We're gonna change it out and go from there. Panel's 100 amps. The new panel is also 100 amps. It just has a few more locations, so it's a little bit bigger, which will be better for future use. And then this old panel is just old. I don't like it, and I already have a new one, so might as well just change it out. It's super easy to do, and I'll show you guys that on this video. And then I went ahead and made this little pole, like a, I don't know what you call this, but like a marker. So this is where I want my outlet height to be around the entire room. We want it high, we don't want it low. The reason we want it high and not low is because we're doing 44-inch counters. I think 44 inches, somewhere around there. And we don't want it to bend over and have to plug in something on the floor behind it under a counter. We're gonna actually make some under storage for the counters to put bins in. That way we can maximize the storage in this shop. So I went ahead and I found this pole, not pole, it's like a cardboard, it's like a giant paper towel roll, but it's just for something else. I think it was for a pole or something, I can't remember. But you can use a piece of wood, you can use a broom handle, you can use anything, as long as it's straight and it doesn't bend. Even a piece of PVC would work if it was thick enough. So I just use this because it was just laying up, I just found it. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark out where I want my outlets on the wall and then start putting them in. So I have a short piece, so it's gonna make quick work of this one. And I went from the opposite way, which is fine. So the cool thing about this shop wall is that there's plenty of room back here, so I don't have to drill any holes through the wood, which is good for now. We're just going to cut this nice and long and make sure we have some extra. We definitely don't want to have this too short. Buy myself a little stick so I don't have to move my ladder so much. This will be able to push it over, hopefully far enough to where I can, well, we'll see how it goes. Got it most of the way there. Just need to put the ladder up and grab it. Shit. All right, we did it. It wasn't so hard. Pretty easy, actually. We got all the rough end done. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the outlets and get all that ready. And then we'll cut everything down here and make it even over at the circuit breaker panel. And then we're gonna grab the new circuit breaker after we get all these outlets going. All right, so this is pretty long. We don't need it this long. I'm gonna cut it down probably about to here so I can make a pigtail as well for later. I don't need a pigtail right now, but I will need one on the next outlet. And this stuff is pretty easy. If you've never done this before, it's common sense. I mean, just kind of cut the sheathing back. Strip your wires maybe a ½ inch or so. A little less than ½ inch. Get your outlet. And then these ones have a nice little, you can put them in the back here, or you can loop them around the screw. I just like to put them in the back because it's just easier. And it's a lot easier and cleaner. You don't have to bend any wires. So just remember black to brass. And then everything else is good to go. Green goes to ground, white goes to silver. And what you want to do, green doesn't have a little slide-in connector, so what you want to do is you're going to want to take this and just kind of grab it on the end and then bend it over like this, okay? Make a nice little clean looking loop like that, and then you're going to take your loop and you're going to come in from the left side. You want the straight part to come in from the left side. That way when you tighten this up, it pulls the loop tighter. If you do it the opposite way, it'll tend to want to loosen it up. So like that. This is pretty, once you learn how to do this stuff, you'll never forget it. That's a real nice clean connection the way it looks right there. Give these a nice tug to make sure they're not loose, and then just kind of go ahead and bend them in there. And then tighten them up. Nice. They make tools for this too. Instead of using a razor blade, there's like this slide-on tool that'll cut it for you. It's nice to have, but it's just, for me, it's just something else to get lost when I have millions of razor blades everywhere. So, or box cutters, whatever you want to call them. Our next is the pigtail point. So what we're going to do actually is we're just going to cut it, this bolt down here. Like that. We're going to reuse these later on. So just take these, all three of them, get a wire nut, put them all on there nice and tight. Just like that. Now the reason you want this like this is if this fails, this outlet fails, the ground, everything is still grounded out. So if you were to just to hook both wires into here, and for some reason this outlet was removed, then you would have an issue of the load outlets wouldn't the load outlets wouldn't have any ground connections, which would be bad. You know, you don't want that. So we'll do the same thing we did before, where we'll take our wire, we'll loop it, we'll come in from the right, or the left rather, so it looks like this. folks. There we go. And you can pinch them together, which is I like to do. It just makes a better connection, like that. And then just tighten it up. And that's what you want it to look like. We got all the electrical outlets in, so I just installed I think 8 total. I still got to take out the old ones, and I'll do that later on. I'm not really too concerned with that right now. Power's off, like I said, power's off, already verified with a little stick, and then like this one had 2 in there. Oh, this is the lights. That makes sense. Look how thick this wire is, though. It's unnecessary. Get this panel off the wall now. It's best to put this on here first before you install the panel. It's easier that way. But you can improvise and do it after. It's not a big deal. That's on there. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and install this real quick. That's in there secured. Like again, I gotta check the ground connection at the other end before I install this. We'll have to see what's going on there. All right, so after looking at that panel again, the one I removed, it wasn't grounded, and all the grounds were bonded with the neutrals. So definitely unsafe, and I'm glad I'm changing this out now. but we're gonna have to drive a grounding rod since there's not one out here. So just gonna give you a rundown of how to do that. Just kind of stab it down like this. Already got it halfway driven, just like that. It's so easy. As long as you get water in here. What you want to do is pull it out, grab some more water, put some water down in that hole. Doesn't have to be much, just enough to get in that hole. Find your hole, let it go back down in there. Let me get to it. I got some circuit breakers. We're gonna remove this bonding screw. This green screw bonds the neutrals to the grounding bars. It bonds the whole case. This is a sub panel. We don't need that. Those are really meant for main panels. Alright, ground wire is coming in through the top. We're going to have to put it in on the outside of this board, and then I'll notch it out later on. I don't really care right now. So I'm going to put two of these in here. I'll put one in for now, and the other one I'll put in a little bit later on. I got light switches on. I'm going to go ahead and put the main breaker, and we'll see what happens. So everything, here's how it looks. I'll show you what's up and what I got to finish up tomorrow. I'm not going to, touch anything in here, but everything's hooked up. Lights, these are for the outlets. I'll test those tomorrow when it's daylight. I'm going to put a nailer board up here coming across just so I can nail these to it. I wanted to show real quick how to check your receptacles and make sure they're wired up right. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So get yourself one of these little testers. They're a few bucks at a store, and they're perfect just to verify that you don't have any open ground or any grounds that aren't hooked up right, or you got reverse polarity going on, hooking up your wires incorrectly. So this is what it's supposed to look like on this specific tester. It has the correct wiring, it says right here.